Arlene here, the Who Knew Ninja, off on another storage adventure with my partner in crime, Katie, who does not like to be filmed on camera, so the mysterious Katie is helping me behind the scenes. I keep seeing other YouTubers buying $10 units and finding thousands and thousands of dollars worth of things, and I found this one and I couldn't resist. So here we are. Let's see what we find in our $10 unit. Hi everyone, here we are at unit 435, only steps away from the elevator, which is a first for us. And the lady who brought us up here took the lock off for us. And we are going to get our first look. A nice small unit. The reason I picked this unit to buy is I saw that gray thing in the back. And I'm hoping that it's a pop-up tent, but we'll find out. We've got a couple of empty bins, some miscellaneous. Oh great, a box of paperwork. Lovely. Big hose. And I don't know what that is. We'll find out in a minute. We've got a helmet, a remote with no batteries. What is that, a sign?
A sign.
No, we can turn it into a sign.
Yeah.
It's like a little,
Arlene's
yeah,
secret shop.
Arlene's house of other people's stuff. Okay. We have a couple of helmets. Oh, okay, that's just trash.
Yeah, I'm just throwing it away.
Katie's trying to get a jump on this. Okay. A couple of umbrellas. A bin. All right, well, let's go and dive in. Yeah, I saw that. Okay, we have a Disney blanket and some other stuff and a couple of little bugs. But fear not, because in my handy dandy bag of tricks, I always bring Raid. I started doing storage units when I lived in Hawaii, and there was never a unit that didn't have dead rats or cockroaches. All right, we have a little girl's backpack, a bra, some dirty clothes. This looks cute, a little Minnie Mouse shirt. I would say this is not a major score. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where they're.
And we have another Disney bedspread, definitely in need of washing, as you can see. We're going to make a decision about which ones we're going to wash and keep versus not. Oh, found a penny. Money comes to money. Experience.
We're experienced.
And it appears the little girl was homeschooled, so we have a lot of her paperwork that doesn't need to be retained from 5 years ago. 2017. That's more than 5 years. That's. And we've got a couple of pairs of shoes, lots more of the school paperwork. There's actually a bin down here that I can't really get to, but nothing exciting. We have 4 big black bags, and we're going to open these when we get to the house rather than make a bigger mess here. So what I was hoping was a tent turns out to be this. A Vita purse, a hose. There must be a vacuum somewhere. We'll take a good look back at the house. And this is the best find so far. I'll have to figure out how it works. But new in box with a $35.99 tag.
Yay!
Here we are, going through our treasures. She says with a chuckle. We have a bin of towels for the animal shelter. A bin of things we're gonna put by the curbside. A bin of trash. A couple of more bins. And we have this sign that I want. I'm gonna turn that sign into something. And just stuff and more stuff. And this is the gray thing that I thought was the tent. Not even close. All right, and we're continuing on. And we have come across a bag full of shoes, none of which we want. So, this is some kind of clay thing. I'm not exactly sure what that is. Yeah. Tons and tons of shoes. So I'm going to put this out at the curbside. And problem solved. This gray case that I was hoping was the tent, a pop-up tent, is full of garbage. Well, now garbage. We emptied it out, took anything we could, filled it back up with garbage. And speaking of garbage, I'm not putting it in our trash bin because this will fill it up. My husband will go nuts. And it'll hold for another week. All right, and we are done. You can see I filled up my landfill basket. My recycling basket. And I have 3 more things of trash for next week. I was very excited I was all finished, and then I remembered, oh shoot, I left a big box of crapola in the back of my car. And here it is. It's looking like it's more homeschooling paperwork. I don't really expect to get anything out of there, but I always go through it. You never know. Okay? And we'll come over here and see what we got. Okay. A couple of little electronic things that I'm going to scrap. I love scrapping electronics. I started doing this in Hawaii, and there's something just so relaxing and so satisfying about taking things apart and finding gold and copper and what else. Okay, this is a nice knife block worth about $35. Needs some cleanup. A chip set. A little costume for a little boy. A goblet, which I'm going to turn into a candle. Some mason jars. Little silver Mickey. And a couple pairs of shoes that I think are garage sale worthy. And a cord. Okay, that's that. The big surprise, however, was in the last bag that I opened. The first tub that we went into when we were in the unit had bugs in it. The clothes were filthy. And I put them out at the curb. If somebody wanted to wash them, they were welcome to it. I just didn't want to mess with that. But I found, well, you'll see, 2 bins worth of, little girl beach towel. There's a vest in here. There's a couple pullover sweaters. There's a fleece something or other. And lots of doop. And here's a second bin here. Okay. And the other things that I found, 2 Wii remotes, some kind of oil deal, a new and beat up box, Spider-Man, water bottle, Elf on the Shelf, 2 brand new umbrellas, plug, miscellaneous jewelry I've got to look at, a couple of pesos, 2 watches, some bad boy tool there, a Chromecast, new in box, $36, a couple of burnt out candles. I'll reuse the containers. I love to make candles, and I'm going to start making signs was my plan. So we got a kick out of the fact that there were several little pieces of wood for that, and another piece of wood with the hanger deal on it, and I'm gonna see if I can get this, and a little sign with a stand built into it. So I'm going to come up with something clever, and I'm either going to paint or wood burn it in. I also got this little table tray made out of plastic, which will be good for me to use for my scrapping and my knives. I sell a lot of knives that I get from TSA, and they all need some level of cleanup, so that will be great for that. And I forgot to show you this one. I brought it in the house last night. It's a 16-ounce spool, and it was marked, if you can see that at the top, sterling. And I got very excited. This was for jewelry making, and that would be worth about $500. However, I have learned that it is not jewelry sterling, it is solder. And it's available at Home Depot for around $20. So my big score fell through. And there's a little shout out to my Hanai, my little puppy. Hey, Hanai. Good boy. What a good boy you are. He's a Chiweenie, half Chihuahua, half wiener dog. And I'll tell you what, he is about as sweet as he can be. Unlike this one, Toby, get over here. Over here, boy. My mini pincher, who is the opposite of Hanai. Okay. And there we have it. I'm guessing we actually have about $200 to $300 worth of things with those towels and the blankets and the jackets and things, plus the other things that I've showed you. And a little anecdote about scrapping. All right, Well, I've been watching YouTubes for quite a while, teaching myself how to scrap, and one of my favorites to watch is Greg Zanis. He's just fun-loving, gets so excited when he sees something beside the road, and just has fun every day. And imagine my surprise when I was sitting watching TV and on the news they are talking about Greg Zanis. Well, it turns out he is the man who has been making crosses to honor mass shooting victims, starting from Columbine all the way to the Las Vegas shooting a couple years ago. And I really love this story because he's just a fun-loving guy driving around, picking up scrap, looking for copper, and yet he's made a huge impact making these crosses in his garage. And the people of Las Vegas honored him with a brand new truck. So you can go to YouTube and search for Greg Zanis scrapping, and there'll be a whole series of videos that you can see him in action and learn to scrap if you want, or just enjoy watching him do it. And with that, I'll bid you warmest aloha until next time. I'm working on 2 more videos right now, so please like and subscribe so you'll get notified when I post those. I'm a little behind. I tweaked my knee and a couple of other things, and anyway, I've got 2 more to get put together and posted. Well, this one was a bust. The other 2 were major scores. So we'll have some fun with those. Hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.